Hello dear friends, myself Kiran Rodge, Assistant Professor Shivlingeswar College of Pharmacy, Almala. So in this lecture we will discuss the stability of emulsion and preservation of emulsion. Before we start our lecture, please subscribe our YouTube channel SUME Academics and press the bell icon for latest updates. So before we start, let's discuss what we discussed in last video. So last video discussed what is the definition of emulsion, which are the different types of emulsion, then different identification test of emulsion, dilution, dye, conductivity, fluorescence and cobalt chloride filter paper test. Then we discussed the main part, that is the emulsifying agent, which are the different ideal properties of emulsifying agent must be possessed for the stable emulsion. Then classification of emulsifying agent, that is natural, semi-synthetic, synthetic, inorganic and alcohols. So in this lecture we will discuss the stability of emulsion. An emulsion is said to be stable if it remains as such after its preparation. The dispersed globules are uniformly distributed throughout the dispersion medium during its storage. The emulsion should be chemically stable and there should not be any bacterial growth during its shelf life. So following are the three changes usually occurs during the storage of an emulsion. First, cracking, second, creaming and third, phase inversion. So first we will discuss what is mean by cracking. So cracking means the separation of two layers of dispersed and continuous phase due to covalence of dispersed phase globules which are difficult to redisperse by shaking. Cracking may occur due to first by addition of emulsifying agent of opposite type. Suppose soaps of monosolvent metal provide oil in water type of emulsion, whereas soaps of divalent metal produce water in oil type of emulsion. But addition of monovalent soap to the divalent soap emulsion or to divalent soap to a monovalent soap emulsion leads to cracking of emulsion. Second, by decomposition of emulsifying agent. When an acid is added to an alkali soap emulsion, example turpentine liniment, it causes the decomposition of an emulsifying agent and thus leads to cracking of an emulsion. Similarly, when the sodium chloride is added to sodium or potassium soap emulsion, it leads to precipitation of emulsifying agent and thus cracking of emulsion take place. Third, by addition of common solvent. When a solvent is added to an emulsion which is either miscible, the dispersed phase, the emulsifying agent and continuous phase, there is a formation of one phase or a clear solution. This leads to cracking of emulsion. For example, the addition of alcohol to turpentine liniment leads to formation of clear solution because turpentine oil, soft soap and water are soluble in alcohol. Next, by microorganism. If emulsion are not stored properly, they may develop bacteria and mold growth. This may lead to destruction of emulsifying agent and cause cracking of emulsion. Therefore, it is dispersible. Therefore, it is desirable that all emulsions which are required to be stored for a long period should be suitably preserved. Next, changes in temperature. When emulsions are stored for a long time, an increase in temperature may reduces the viscosity of emulsion and encourage creaming. When emulsions are stored at very low temperature, freezing of its water content into ice and subsequent melting of the ice and shaking may reform the emulsion. And the last, by successive creaming. A creamy emulsion is more liable to crack than the homogeneous emulsion. It is therefore necessary to take steps to retard the creaming as far as possible. So this is the cracking. Now second problem, that is creaming. So creaming is nothing but the upward movement of dispersed globules to form a thick layer at the surface of the emulsion. Creaming is a temporary phase because it can be redistributed or it can be redispersed by mild shaking or stirring to get a again homogeneous emulsion. As far as possible, creaming of an emulsion should be avoided because it may lead to cracking with complete separation of two phases. Creaming can be explained by the Stokes law. Stokes law, the rate of creaming V is equal to the 2r square in bracket rho 1 minus rho 2 into g divided by 9 eta, where v the rate of creaming, r is the radius of globules, rho 1 and rho 2 are the densities of dispersed phase and continuous phase respectively, g is the gravitational constant, and eta is the viscosity of dispersion medium. With the help of Stokes' law, we conclude what is the effect of radius globules. The rate of creaming is directly proportional to the radius of globules. Larger the size of globules, the more will be the creaming, and smaller the size of globules, lesser will be the creaming. The small globules will rise less quickly than the large globules. Hence, creaming can be reduced by reducing the size of globules by passing them through a homogenizer. Second, what is the difference or what is the effect of differences in densities of phases? The rate of creaming depends on the difference between the densities of dispersed phase and continuous phase. Greater the difference, more will be the creaming. This difference can be reduced, but it is not desirable because it is not required therapeutically. Third, viscosity of dispersion medium. The rate of creaming is inversely proportional to the viscosity of dispersion medium. The viscosity can be increased by adding a suitable excipient like tragacanth or methyl cellulose, but too much viscosity is undesirable because it may become difficult to redisperse the material which have settled at the bottom. Moreover, it is difficult to pour emulsion from the container. Fourth reason or fourth parameter, that is the storage condition. The emulsion should be stored in a cool place because the rise in temperature reduces the viscosity which may lead to a creaming. The freezing should be avoided because it may lead to the cracking. This is the second stability parameter. Third, phase inversion. Phase inversion means the change of one type of emulsion into the other type of, that is, oil in water emulsion changes into water in oil emulsion and vice versa. It may due to the following reason: by addition of electrolyte, by changing the phase volume ratio, by temperature change, or by changing the emulsifying agent. So these are the three different stability parameter. First, cracking, second, creaming, and third, phase inversion. Now we will discuss the preservation of emulsion. The emulsion which are prepared by using emulsifying agent such as carbohydrates, proteins, sterol or non-ionic surfactant may lead to the growth of bacteria, fungi or molds in the presence of water. The contamination of emulsion by these microorganisms may cause unpleasant odor, taste or discoloration. Due to breakdown of emulsifying agent, changes occur in the consistency of an emulsion which may lead to cracking of emulsion. Let's discuss the different sources of contamination. First source may be the equipment used in the preparation of emulsion, or second, by using contaminated excipient. Third, the ratio of oil and water is not proper. Fourth, by using not properly store deionized and purified water, and last one, the pH of the preparation. These are maybe 5 sources of contamination. So for the better preservation of emulsion, preservatives are added. So what are preservative? The class of compounds which preserve the dosage form from the microbial contamination. The following are the criteria of preservatives. First, it should be compatible with drug. It should be effective for broad spectrum. Third, effective in low concentration. It should be freely soluble in solvent. It should be palatable, means good taste, not bad, having the bad odor. Next, it should be non-toxic, non-sensitizing, and last one, it should be physically, chemically, and microbiologically stable. These are the criteria for the selection of preservative. Now we will discuss the different types of or classification of preservatives. First, we can use phenolic compounds, examples phenol, cresol. We can use parabens, methyl paraben, propyl paraben, alcohols, ethyl alcohol, benzyl alcohol. Fourth, mercurous compounds, thiomersal. And last one, quaternary ammonium compounds, example benzalkonium chloride. These are the 5 types of preservatives we can use: phenolic compounds, parabens, alcohols, mercurous compounds, and quaternary ammonium compounds, which are used as a preservatives for the emulsion. The next, antioxidants. So our emulsion contain water and oil. During storage of emulsion, the fats which is obtained from vegetables or animal sources and emulsifying agents such as wool fat, wool alcohols undergo oxidation by the atmospheric oxygen. This can be avoided by using antioxidants. Sometimes oxidation occurs due to the enzymes produced by the microorganism. Such problems should be prevented by adding the suitable antioxidant. So antioxidants, the class of compounds which preserve the dosage form from the oxidation. The antioxidant may be selected on the basis of it should be readily soluble, it should be effective in low concentration, it should be non-toxic, it should be non-irritant, it should be compatible with other ingredients, or it should be colorless, odorless, and tasteless. The antioxidants are classified into 2 types. These may be a water soluble or water insoluble. Water soluble, again, sulfurous acid derivatives, ascorbic acid derivatives, and third one, thioderivatives. Examples are, for sulfurous acid derivatives, sodium sulfate, sodium thiosulfate. Ascorbic acid derivatives, leucoascorbic acid or isoascorbic acid. And third one, thioderivatives, examples thioglycerol and thioglycolic acid. And last one, water insoluble, that is BHA or BHT, which is also called as butyl hydroxyanisole and butyl hydroxytoluene. So these are the classification of antioxidants. So we can preserve the emulsion by addition of preservatives and addition of antioxidants. So in this lecture we discuss the different stability of emulsion, 3 reasons or 3 sources: cracking, creaming, phase inversion, then preservation of emulsion, sources of emulsion, addition of preservatives or what are a preservative, what are the criteria of preservatives, then classification of preservatives, and last one, antioxidant. What are antioxidants, what are the classification, and what are the ideal properties of antioxidant must be possessed. So thank you.